Good morning, Dr. Kennedy. Get my screen situated here for you. This is my functional behavior assessment summary and behavior intervention plan. The student that I chose is DW. DW is a 12th grade student diagnosed with an emotional behavior disability. He lives with his mother, who's actively involved in all aspects of his planning. He's demonstrated many academic strengths, including reading and writing abilities, and he is on grade level for most of his assignments and assessments. He struggles with appropriate peer and adult interactions and with staying on task as far as initiating and completing assignments. He's very interested in listening to music and watching YouTube videos on his phone versus completing his schoolwork. And he often ignores teacher directions by putting his head down and avoiding initiating tasks that he believes are too difficult. And his behavior, his off-task behavior is consistent across all educational environments. There's really not one class where this behavior is presenting more than another. The observation, I observed DW during a summer school session, and he was observed in a classroom with 20 students, one regular education teacher and one special education teacher. During the 60-minute observation setting, he ignored the teacher directions and he put his head down on the desk, and it took him several teacher prompts to initiate. I used a latency recording to record the data from this observation because I wanted to see the duration. I wanted to see the time that it took him to initiate. I needed to see an actual number of minutes, so that's why I chose latency. Reinforcement strategies that have been tried in the past include teacher praise and edible rewards. His interest in music and YouTube makes me think that possibly a token reward system could be implemented for him to earn that free time to listen to music and watch videos, and that may be a more effective reinforcement strategy for DW. And the function of his behavior is to escape from a demanding or a boring task. DW's data is listed here. Like I said, he was prompted to initiate at 7:30, and he actually began work at 8:12. During that 1 hour observation, it took him 42 minutes out of the 60-minute observation to initiate work. His behavior intervention plan, his function of the behavior, well, his behavior is inattentive behavior, not working on assignments. The function of that behavior is to escape, and he ignores teachers' directions and avoids initiation of tasks that he believes is too difficult. And I chose latency as the data collection method. So the replacement goal would be given a classroom task. DW will initiate that task within 3 minutes after a verbal request in 4 out of 5 occurrences. The potential reinforcer would be to work towards independent rewards, watching the videos or having that time to listen to some music. Antecedent strategies, interventions, verbal and nonverbal prompting, and that can be implemented by a regular education teacher and special education teacher with really no extra materials needed. Another intervention would be to give DW a choice as far as what assignment he would like to complete first. So if there's 2 or 3 assignments that need to be completed during that class time, giving him the choice of which assignment he would like to complete first. And that would be also implemented by regular education teacher and special education teacher with really nothing more than just a regular classroom materials. Another antecedent strategy would be a behavior contract that would be drawn up by the special education teacher and signed by the student and the special education teacher. This would also be shared with the parent so that they know exactly the expectations for DW throughout the school day. Teaching strategies and interventions that would be used is instruction and verbal prompts and cues. Just instructing DW on what those cues mean and those prompts from the teacher and how he is supposed to initiate based on those verbal prompts and cues. And that would be implemented by the general education teacher and the special education teacher with no extra materials needed besides regular classroom materials. DW would also need some instruction on self-monitoring and evaluation. That would be implemented by special education teacher and parents, and possibly some self-monitoring information given to the parents to help reinforce this at home. Reinforcement strategies used for when DW is on task would be that token system that's attached to desired rewards. So he would be awarded for a number of consecutive days, whatever that number might be. I had put 4 in the goal. So after 4 days of being on task, he would earn a reward. And that would be implemented by the general education teacher and the special education teacher. The materials needed for that would just be a behavior sheet that his behavior would be monitored on for that token system. Another reinforcement strategy that could be used at home would be communication with the parents to tell them when DW has been on task or has met the goal at school so that they could carry that out, that reward out at home as well, which would include rewarding him with movies or PlayStation or music or going to the gym, whatever that is that DW would like as rewards. Corrective strategies used for when DW is not on target or is showing that target behavior when he's not on task would be verbal and nonverbal prompting, which would be used by the general education teacher and special education teacher with no extra classroom materials. Adult proximity, so just the teacher moving closer to him to tell him that it is time to initiate the task, which that does not disrupt the classroom and does not disrupt other students, but it just gives him a clue that it is time to initiate. And that would be carried out by the general education teacher and the special education teacher. Loss of points on token system for off-task behavior, and that would be carried out by the general education and teacher and the special education teacher. So he would lose points instead of gaining points on that token reward system. And that would also carry through for at home as well. Parents would be notified that he is not on task at school, and they would carry out that loss of reward at home as well. I do not think it's necessary to implement a safety plan for DW. He is escaping from initiating the task. He is not disruptive and he is not causing harm to himself or anyone else in the classroom. At the bottom here, I just have who was involved in this behavior intervention plan. So the student is DW, parent is SW, teacher is M. Patterson. She was the special education teacher that I consulted with. I'm listed as the case manager, and S. Black is the principal at Boone County High School. Thank you, Dr. Kennedy. I hope you have a great day.